Hey, what's up, Reefers? I'm Reefer Matt. Today I have a special video for you. I'm going to be reviewing the Kactoily 7-in-1 Aquarium Monitor, and I'm going to be putting it on the 75-gallon SBS tank. The folks at Kactoily were kind enough to send me this one for free to try out, so I can't wait to get into it and see how it goes. Stay tuned. All right, so this is I believe it's called Kactoily 7-in-1 Water Aquarium Monitor. Just looking at the packaging, it doesn't really say what's in it. I only know because that's what they told me they sent me. But it is a nice box that it comes in, though. It's a nice thick box. So I'm going to open up this plastic wrap with my trusty reefing knife and see what's inside. I've seen some reviews for this so far. I just don't know how it'll compare to the testing kits that I already have, and I can't wait to try it out, really. That's sort of why I agreed to do it, because I've never heard of this company before, and if it's a good product, I want you guys to know about it. It's a nice thick box. There's a user manual inside, which I'll definitely be checking that out. I've never even used this before, so I don't know how to set it up or anything. So this is the 7-in-1 Aquarium Monitor. Oh, it's a wireless monitor, so that's nice. And inside, we have some kind of bracket. I'll find out what that's for in a minute. I believe this is the probe that goes in the water. Yeah, there's the water level there. So they got a nice max level and min level there. Probably be aiming for right here. There's some holes there, I'm assuming, for some suction cups. Let's see what's in this box here. Got a couple power adapters. Those are for US, United States. There's a cord, I assume, for charging. And these must be for calibration, some calibration solution powder, which is cool because I just ran out. So thanks for that, folks at Kactoily. There we go. And here's those suction cups that I was looking for, but it's also a magnet here for something. And some little thumb screws here. So I'm going to take a look at the instructions and see how I set this up, and then we'll get it set up on the 75-gallon SBS tank. Okay, just something I wanted to show you real quick. I did look at the instructions. You can use suction cups or this bracket. I'm going to try to use the bracket because I have a saltwater tank, and we all know suction cups don't do good in salt water. But another thing that I did like to see was these little vials right here. These are removable vials, but it keeps the probes wet. And when you buy new probes, especially pH probes and ORP probes, you want them to stay wet. So that's good right off the bat to see that these are on here, and the instructions say to remove these. So I'm glad to see that. And I'm going to try out this bracket here. It looks a little bit thin, but I'll see how it goes. And just to show you, to take these off, they unscrew. They're a little tight, so you may have to get a little something extra on there, but they just unscrew off of there. This one's really on there. There we go. I think it said they're really tight. Okay, I had to bust out the pliers, but I got it. It was a little tight on there, but I mean, that's good though. You can see there's still liquid in it. So that keeps the probes wet. So like I said, if the probes dry up, then they'll be no good. So let's get this thing installed and see what happens. Okay, so yeah, as I thought, this bracket here, and get it in focus, it doesn't work for my tank because of the distance between where this where the sensor comes through here. It actually goes like this, and the sensor goes in here. They give you 3/4 of an inch for your rim. So I suggested Kactoily to make them so it's like 1.25 inches, which is around 31 millimeters. Whereas you can see here, this is only for 3/4. So if you have a rimless tank or something with a thinner frame, it won't be a problem for you. Because like I said, you don't want to use suction cups in salt water because it will let loose and just fall off in the tank. So what I did is I had a light bracket and I just zip tied it to that. And that's not a deal breaker for me if I were to buy this. It's actually quite common to have the smaller sizes in brackets like that because the fully framed tanks aren't as popular as they used to be. But that's just a suggestion that I would make to Kactoily, to make that bracket so it'll fit a little bit wider rimmed tanks like this standard Marineland 75-gallon tank here. But I just zip tied it to this little bracket that I have back here. And I can actually show you that, which is a lot wider. And that fits right over there. So I'm sure any reefer worth their salt can figure something out at DIY if they have to in the meantime, because this is something we usually run into anyway. But when I looked in here, it's just 2 probes, like you know, actual real probes. So that was cool to see too. Okay, so here's the controller for the Aquarium Monitor, and I'll just start off with the things that I like about this Aquarium Monitor, and then I'll go into the things that I don't particularly like. I do like the fact that all these parameters you see here, you can set them to whatever you want. So if you have something else that's calibrated and you know for sure it is, you can go ahead and go on these menus. Like I wish my higher priced Aquarium Monitor had this option right here where I can adjust the pH right down with this function here. And I can adjust it to whatever I want, as you can see there, and then that's what it'll be. So you can just manually adjust it. However, if you don't have something that's calibrated, it does give you that option too to go ahead and calibrate it. So I do like that feature. And that is available on all the different settings here. With the ORP one, I don't have an ORP probe, so I didn't have nothing to compare it to. So when I went to calibrate this, I ordered this solution here to calibrate the ORP probe. And then I tested my my tank with it. And come to find out, I mean, I don't know much about ORP, but there's the value right there, 246. From what I read, that's a little low, but I don't seem to have any tank problems. I just thought it was pretty neat because I've never ever tested ORP before, so that was pretty cool to have that. And like I said, you can go in here and you can set all the different parameters that you want. You know, temperature. The bottom one is like a master reset. So if you do that one, then you got to recalibrate everything. So I don't suggest doing that unless you have to. But there's a temperature one. You can do Celsius, Fahrenheit. You can also go up and down to change the different degrees if you have to. So that's really nice. I do like that feature. And I wish a lot more aquarium monitors have that feature where you can actually change the parameters just by the push of a button, and you don't have to necessarily go through a whole calibration procedure. And another thing I like about this is you can see it is a backlit display. So you can read this in the dark. You don't need a separate light. And you can also turn it off. By pressing and holding in this check button here, you can turn the screen off if you want. And to turn it back on, you just press this check button and it'll turn the screen back on. So I do like that feature too. So that way you don't always have to turn on the lights in the room. So I happen to pretty much calibrate these to my other aquarium monitor, but honestly the pH and the specific gravity were pretty close already, so I really didn't have to touch those. The temperature was just 1 degree off out of the box, and that's actually pretty good. So 1 degree difference ain't a big deal. So as far as accuracy, you can set, like I said, you can set this to whatever you want, or you can just use it out of the box because they calibrated at the factory according to the instructions. But I found with just a couple extra tweaks, it pretty much tracks with my other monitor. And it's pretty handy too, because I can just look at this really quick, even though this doesn't hook up to a phone or anything. It's just kind of something handy that's right there in the room for me. Okay, so now I want to move on to some of the things that I don't like about this. Some of them are sort of a big deal. Some of them are just me kind of nitpicking at it. The first one is really the size of this display. We're used to seeing, more sleek looking controller interfaces here in the US, and that's not a deal breaker for me. It's just this thing's sort of boxy. It's like 1.5 inches wide, whereas if it was just this white part here, it would seem a little more sleek and user-friendly in a sense, but it's not a deal breaker. However, there is one thing that is advertised is that it's wireless, but the communication is what's wireless, not the power. As soon as I unplug this, this is just a regular USB-C cord, the power immediately turns off. And there's no turning it back on. There's no battery in this thing. So you have to keep it plugged in order to see the power. And that goes for the probe side too. As you see, it'll take a minute and it'll initialize, and then you'll see the readings. So that's just something to be aware of, that even though the communication between this and the probe is wireless, which is nice, you can put this in a separate side of the room and it doesn't have to be right there at the tank. Just know that this does have to have its own separate power, and so does the probes as well. And one other thing that I noticed that this was lacking is there is no alarm function on this whatsoever. This does not alert you if any of these parameters get out of whack. It doesn't make any noises. It's not hooked up to your phone. So it's just basically a display only item. So that's something else to keep in mind. So I was wondering why a few of these parameters are way off. I have a saltwater tank and the salinity is off and the TDS is off. Obviously, I'm not going to measure TDS in the saltwater tank anyway, but it's a lot more than what it's showing on here. So I was wondering why there's a lot of values that are wrong on here. There's actually 3 of them. And that's because they're only for freshwater. So on here, here's the instruction booklet. pH will work for both salt and fresh, so will temperature. However, TDS is only good for freshwater. Same thing with electrical conductivity and the salinity. But where that'll help you with saltwater is it does measure specific gravity in the correct range, and also ORP. So just be aware of that. That really is, if you have a saltwater tank, think of this more as a 4-in-1 monitor, not a 7-in-1 monitor. Well, I've had this Kactoily 7-in-1 monitor on my tank for a week now, and even though there's a few little quirks about it I don't like, I do find the information that I get out of it useful. And it was pretty neat to check out ORP because I'd never even monitored that before. So this product might work better for you in your situation, but I find it does have value, so it might be something for you to look into. I'm Reefer Matt. Thank you for watching, and happy reefing.